And the second time was a few months back when I made a trip to Surabaya. I did visit University of Trunojoyo again, UTM again. I think it was 2 or 3 months back. Okay, I am also very pleased and happy to be with you all again. I have always looked forward for a collaboration with UTM since the first day of our engagement way back in 2018, I guess, when the rector and the team arrived at UCB. We had a nice discussion, and so now we are together again. I hope to share my experience. I am no better than you when it comes to knowledge, but I guess maybe it's the experience that we should be sharing. We started off, can I share my screen with you all now? Okay, supposed to be Pembentukan Center of Excellence in Entrepreneurship and Innovation through the practice enterprise concept. I would like to introduce the practice enterprise concept that UCB has been doing for the past 7 years since I came here, yeah. And before that, anyone who tidak kenal lagi akan University College Bestari, untuk pengetahuan, University College Bestari adalah a private institution of higher learning yang dipunyai oleh Pertubuhan Kebajikan Anak Yatim Malaysia, Pertubuhan Kebajikan Anak Yatim Negeri Trengganu, dan Yayasan Kebajikan Trengganu. Tujuan utama adalah untuk membantu semua mereka yang kurang bernasib baik untuk enjoy the fruits of their labor dalam institutions of higher learning di Malaysia especially, ya. In fact, beberapa tahun lepas kita ada menerima pelajar-pelajar daripada Indonesia, anak-anak yatim yang kita sponsor. Begitu juga anak-anak yatim daripada Thailand, ya. Itu serba sedikit tentang UCB. And Bestari Practice Enterprise Center is an organization or a group of lecturers who represent European PEN International, which is now known as PEN Worldwide, the largest and most successful network for practical entrepreneurship training in Malaysia. So we are the only one in Malaysia that does this right now. And it is very unique because kita dikaitkan dengan 44 member countries throughout the world, and we train with different target groups of students, starts from secondary school right up to tertiary level. So that is what BestPack or Bestari Practice Enterprise does. Now, what is actually a practice enterprise? Now, we always talk about simulators, right? Bila kita belajar memandu kenderaan, kita menggunakan simulator. Bila orang nak menjadi pilot, mereka juga menggunakan simulator. Correct? Tetapi orang nak belajar berniaga, macam mana? Adakah perlu orang-orang yang mula berniaga ini merasai rugi dahulu dengan duit mereka sendiri? Kalau dia guna duit sendiri, fine. Kalau dia guna duit mak dan ayah dia, ibu dan bapanya, fine. Tetapi kalau dia meminjam, apa akan jadi pada orang yang baru nak berniaga? Sebab itu kita rasa konsep practice enterprise atau kita panggil di sini sebagai simulator untuk sesiapa jua yang ingin belajar untuk menjadi seorang entrepreneur. Kerana di dalam ini, di dalam simulator for business entrepreneurship and language development ini, students boleh melakukan kesalahan dan belajar daripada kesalahan. Kerana kita semua biasa melakukan kesalahan dalam hidup kita ya, dan kita belajar dari kesalahan kita, dari kesilapan kita. Cuma kesilapan itu tidak harus diulang-ulang, insya-Allah. Okay, can I move on? Boleh saya teruskan?
Yes,
Atau
Prof.
you have questions?
No.
Saya tak.
Silakan diteruskan, Prof.
Teruskan ya. Now, kita anggap simulator ini, kita bawa students daripada classroom, terus kepada boardroom, dan dalam konsep ini kita menggunakan the acronym PRIME, P-R-I-M-E, sebabnya untuk students kita belajar, setiap apa yang kita ajar itu mestilah realistik. Okay? Ia mesti realistik, hang on ya. Praktikal, memberi inspirasi kepada students, bermakna dan always engaging. Now, how do we engage our students? Sekiranya kita guna the chalk and talk method. Like what we have been doing throughout our lifetime. Kita di sekolah, daripada bangku sekolah, naik ke universiti, semua menggunakan chalk and talk. The center would always be the teachers or the lecturers or the trainers. Tetapi dalam konsep practice enterprise, yang memainkan peranan paling penting are the students or the trainees rather than the trainers. The trainers would be by the side, coaching them, not at the center. Okay? So ingat ya, bila kita nak menggunakan konsep practice enterprise, it has to be practical, realistic, inspirational, meaningful dan engaging. 5 peranan utama ini mesti. Dan how kalau kita buat dalam lectures? Saya rasa it's difficult for us to do this dalam lectures biasa. Okay? And this is what kita boleh buat dalam practice enterprise. It's 100% practical, it's hands-on, it's learning by doing. It acts as a bridge. It acts as a bridge untuk membawa students daripada classroom kepada dunia sebenar sebagai seorang entrepreneur. Atau kalau dia belum bersedia untuk menjadi entrepreneur, dia sudah ready untuk menjadi entrepreneurial graduates. They might be working for people, tetapi they have an entrepreneurial mindset. Sebab saya rasa we should be producing either one, entrepreneurial graduates or graduate entrepreneurs. Ya, so di sini dalam konsep practice enterprise ini, students would be career ready. They learn real world skills. They can learn to be employees as well as employers, because as entrepreneurs, mereka seharusnya menjadi employers, job givers, and no more job seekers. Yeah, this is how the best back pedagogy or the practice enterprise pedagogy framework or how it works. Let's have a look at the practice enterprise environment. You have the PE, you have the world or the network. We have the central office, or we can have the back office in the case of UTM. And we have the systems to support the programs. Okay? Is everyone clear? Do you have questions? Please, minta tolong tanya ya. I need questions because I tak tahu you all understand atau tidak apa yang saya cakap ni.
Maybe we have a session discussion tersendiri, Prof.
Prof. Razak.
And
Yes,
question in the last session maybe.
Yes.
Bu moderator, Bu Nana.
Yes,
Ya, Pak Andre.
May I have some questions?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Razak. I am Andri, a lecturer of from Trengganu University. Sorry, I could not open my cam because we are going to Kacamata University right now. Very interesting presentation. My question is about, you said about simulator, entrepreneur simulator. Could you elaborate what kind of entrepreneur simulator that already implement in your university? Because in my experience, the most important problem in entrepreneurship education program is how to prepare some, what you call, practices, some practice in entrepreneur. So maybe we have problem with our students. They have some problem, for example, about how to implement the business practice, because maybe in our curriculum we just give about the how to what is the concept of entrepreneur and etc. But in terms of practical, it is very limited. Maybe could you give us the some what we call some entrepreneur practical in your university? Thank you, Prof. Razak.
Thank you so much for the question. I think as we go along, you will find the answers in my presentation on how we go about doing the activities for the students. Yeah, in fact, I have also included a set of activities that we can do with the students and with the trainers. If you would like to be with all of you at UTM, if need be, to help realize the concept of having a practice enterprise at UTM, inshallah. Okay, so can I continue?
Yes,
Okay,
Prof.
let's go a little bit further. Yeah.
Prof, sorry, is the presentation slide still the cover page or?
Pardon?
Yes, it's not going in the next text, Prof. What,
I see all the conteng. I don't know why.
Why? Ada yang ini.
What's happening to the screen?
Itu ada. Okay.
I think hacker come.
Okay, it's okay. All right, now, this is the old way of teaching, right? It's a classroom base. Okay, and we don't want this to happen in our lectures or at the practice enterprise level. You won't be seeing students sleeping or talking to each other, but they will be more engaged. This is how a practice enterprise looks like. It looks like a real office where students, I'll show you. Okay, can you find out? Okay, just for fun, who are the lecturers, who are the trainers, and who are the trainees here? Can you identify who the trainers are and who the trainees are?
Prof,
Can anyone?
Prof Razak.
Ya.
Ya, mohon maaf, Prof. Untuk slide di PowerPoint yang tampil di Zoom itu masih di halaman pertama.
Oh, kenapa ya?
The presentation slide still in the cover page, Prof.
Why is that happening? You are still seeing only this one or this one?
No, masih
Still
tidak.
in the first page.
Maybe you can stop
The slide
the share
doesn't work,
screen,
Prof.
Prof.
Now?
You stop.
Does it work now?
Not yet.
Maybe stop share first. Stop
Yeah.
share first, then trying to share it again, because it's still in the first page.
Why is it happening that way? I've got to get some technical person to come in and assist me. Hang on, yeah? Hang on for a while. Well,
Stop share
Then
dulu.
Stop share first.
Ulangi
screen
lagi.
first,
Prof.
Prof,
Razak,
and then
please
back
stop
to
share
share screen
first.
again.
Then
Share
share it again.
first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then trying to
You can try to
share it.
sharing again.
Share it again.
To share again, okay?
Yeah.
Not yet. Not yet. Maybe Mrs. Nurul can help Prof. Razak to
Yes,
share.
already.
Okay,
I can
it's
already your presentation.
Yeah.
Can you
You
see
can
it
see it
now?
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
already, sir.
Please
Okay.
continue the material.
Can you see this now?
Yes.
Yes, it's the right page now.
Is it the right page from
Moving
classroom
now.
to
It's
boardroom?
moving.
Yes,
Moving already.
yes, sir.
Okay,
Moving.
so you were not able to see this just now, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now this was what I was talking about when I say our lessons will have to be prime. Yeah, it has to be practical, realistic, inspirational, meaningful, and engaging. So we move on to the next slide on what it can do. Okay, it can prepare our students for their career, teaches them real world skills, and it also teaches students. It helps students, it trains students either to be an employee or an employer. Okay, it's 100% practical and hands-on. Then I went on to talk about the pedagogy framework, right? Correct? And I was showing you about the practice enterprise environment,
Yes,
where we
sir.
have the practice enterprise, the network, the central office, as well as the system that supports the practice enterprise. Okay. The next slide, I was showing you about a classroom environment, the traditional classroom environment. And we are not going to have this, but we're going to try to have this. Okay, this is how a practice enterprise should look like. It looks like a real office. You can either have a simple layout like what we have here at University College Bestari. It's just a very simple layout. Or if you want a high-end layout, well, it looks like that. Any which way, we can do it. Now, I was also saying, in a practice enterprise, you might not be able to know who the trainees or who the trainers are, right? So can any one of you identify who are the trainers and who are the trainees here in the picture, in the slide? Anyone? Let's give a try. Kita coba. Siapa trainer dan siapa trainee di sini? Gambar yang pertama kita tengok, the first yang ada tulis high end layout tu, siapa trainee dan siapa trainernya?
Trainer is in
The
the
trainer is
right, and the trainee is the left.
Okay, yang mana? Yang on the right tu, yang baju stripes tu ke?
Yes, trainer.
Oh, that's the trainer.
Yes. I
Okay.
guess maybe.
No, I will tell the answer afterwards. Yang tudung kuning tu?
trainer, the trainer.
Trainer.
Yeah.
Yang pakai tie tu?
Yang pakai t-shirt itu maybe the student.
Trainer. Student or trainer?
There, you see, it's difficult, right? You don't know
Yeah.
siapa trainernya dan siapa trainee-nya, because dalam konsep practice enterprise, the trainers are always by the side. Dia tidak akan kelihatan. Orang tak nampak selalunya. Okay, you are seldom seen. Sama juga dalam picture yang kedua itu, yang di sebelah dia tu, you might not even know who the trainees are.
Yeah.
Kan nampak semua sedang bekerja.
Yes.
Okay, sama juga yang simple layout itu pun sama. Everyone is doing their work, because here even the trainers will have to work. it's not only the trainees, but the trainers are also working with the trainees. So this is how we assist the trainees in being employees of a company, because there are 2 stages to the training. Okay, I'll go to that a little bit later. Now, learning by doing via the practice enterprise. As you can see, it's 100% hands-on and experiential. Students experience what they are supposed to do rather than listening to the lecturers. Here, they do things. They make things happen. Because students come in here not as students. For the first phase, they come in as employees of a business entity. So they come in, they work 9 to 5. That would be the perfect time. They come in at 9, they go back at 5. Okay? Doing what? What do they do? Can anyone guess? What do they do? What would the students do here? I would like to get engagement from everyone, please. The students would be working in their departments, right? If you see, in a business entity, there are always departments, right? You have the marketing and sales department. You have the human resource department or human potential department. You have the logistics department. You have the accounts and finance department. So students will be divided into all these departments and we rotate them. This is where they learn all the policies. The question just now, how to implement business practice? This is how we do it. Okay? They learn all the documents. They learn the business flow. They learn the trading flow. They learn the logistics of things. Everything here is real, except for 2. Money and product. Products are only on paper. It's non-tangible. But then again, when I say money is not tangible, now, if you deal in business at this moment in time, do we use cash? Adakah kita menggunakan wang cash, wang tunai? Tidak kan? Kita semua transfer dan sebagainya. That is where the system comes in. Okay, we have the banking system. You need to have that. A simple banking system where students can transfer money out or, deposit money. Okay, and you can also trade internationally or locally if you have PEs in and around campus. Now, if I may know, how many faculties does UTM has? Berapa fakulti ada di UTM?
We have 21 faculty in agribusiness.
Now, you have,
and then
Faculty.
all of the faculty is about
6
faculty. We have 7 faculty.
okay. You have 7 fakultas, 7 fakultas. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, cuba bayangkan setiap fakultas ada dia punya PE tersendiri. Ya, contoh saya ambil yang agrobusiness ya. Agrobusiness ada 1 PE. Dia trades in agricultural products, correct? Now, you ada PE apa lagi? Fakultas apa lagi ada? Law?
Law, economic.
Law, economic.
Okay, if you
Social.
have, okay, now let us talk about the law faculty, right? Then you can start a practice enterprise. It's a lawyer's company. It's a business, right? A lawyer's company is a business entity. Okay. Now, lagi fakulti ekonomi. Fakulti ekonomi would be the best sebab dia boleh ada macam-macam. Dia boleh supply dia punya students kepada semua PE untuk apa? Kalau dia belajar finance, dia duduk in the finance department, right?
Right, have a banking simulation.
Yeah, you can simulate a lot of things here. Okay. Now, I need to be quite fast because we are already a bit late. Okay. Now, a practice enterprise methodology. I say just now, we have 2 stages. Stage 1, we call it as a mother practice enterprise, where students come in and be employees of a business entity. Ada yang bertanya saya, how to implement business practices. You see, rotation of trainees in various departments of a business office. So students are being rotated from one department to the other. We can do that. Or, kalau kita kata orang yang belajar accounts hanya nak belajar tentang accounts, so kita letakkan dia di Department of Accounts and Finance sahaja, where dia akan buat payable, dia akan buat receivables, dia akan jadi cashier, buat checks dan sebagainya. So these are the things that we can teach to the students. So it's all about practice, ya. Dia bukan lagi hanya duduk dalam kelas dan dengar dan tengok dokumen tanpa membuat. It is always about doing things. The practice enterprise is always about doing things. And students are directly involved in the operations of the company. They administer the company. They are the heads of departments. So they make decision. So students akan belajar membuat decision rather than waiting for others to decide for them. They also handle business documents. Handling business documents. For example, if you want to trade, if you want to buy things from others, what do you do? What do you start with? How do you start? How do you initiate a sales? So of course, you've got to go to the marketing and advertising first, right? So here students will have to produce marketing products, marketing collaterals, we call that. And they are deeply involved because they have to send all the collaterals to other companies all around the world. It's not only local, but it's all around the world, okay? And they have to make business decisions. Where to sell, when to sell, what to sell, whom to sell. So it's all decisions, and it is here that they learn to take calculated risks. Now, in business, it's all about taking risks, right? Business is all about risks. Are you willing to take risks? If you are not, then you cannot do business. Okay, so we tell them, take calculated risks. Don't just take any kind of risk. You say risks must always be calculated. You must always look at the pros and cons. You know, these are things that, and you don't decide on your own. You normally have to decide with your bosses. You have to decide with your superiors, come up with ideas and so on. So this is how we train our students. Now, some people might ask, what if students have questions? They have problems. I would always answer students' questions with questions. But you must know the technique of using leading questions. You lead them to the answers, because sometimes these students, they know the answers. It's just that they don't know how to get to the answer. So in a PE environment, we assist students. You don't help, but you assist students to arrive at a point that you want them to be. You don't tell them, but you assist them. You coach them. These are the terms that we use. You don't teach them. Okay, there is no teaching, but there is learning. There is experiencing. Okay? And in this concept for the stage 1, the trainers or rather the lecturers would play the roles of the CEO and the CEFO. So that is why if you look back at what I showed you just now, it's difficult for you to really know who the trainers are or who the trainees are, because even the trainers are involved in the activities. It's not only the students. Any questions at this level?
Prof.
Yes.
Yes. In your experience, it means if we have practice enterprise, so the university should prepare the real company, right?
Okay, now this is only what do you call, yeah? This is just a simulation. It looks like a real company. It engages like a real company. It trades like a real company, but it is not a real company. That is the reason to why we call it as a practice enterprise. It will help students to realize their own potential as business people. Because not everyone can be a business person. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Okay? Now, it is from here that students will say, business is too difficult for me. Or, wow, I like the challenge. I want to be a business person. Because you cannot force anyone to do business. Interest alone will not help much. It helps, but it will not help much. If only you have one interest, okay? Because there are other things involved. Persistency, you have to be persistent. You have to be very strong-minded to be a business person. Or else every Tom, Dick, and Harry would be doing businesses right now. All of us will be doing businesses, right? How many of us at the faculty are doing their own businesses? Anyone? Anyone of the lecturers at UTM from the Faculty of Agrobusiness doing business?
Mrs. Anna.
Di sana, di UTM. Berapa ramai yang buat bisnis?
Bu Mardia punya ya?
Ya, berapa ramai dosen-dosennya yang menjadi entrepreneur?
Business entrepreneur.
Ya. Ramai?
Not much.
Maybe some of us only.
Because we dare not. We dare not take the risk. Betul tak? So kita kata kita jadi dosen, every month you dapat gaji, you dibayar upahnya, cukuplah. Rather than you take the risk, nanti hujung bulan tengok alamak rugi lagi, macam mana nak bayar staffnya, kan? So we dare not take the risk. So tak semua orang boleh jadi an entrepreneur, but we can always beri peluang kepada our students yang nak menjadi entrepreneur, to be good entrepreneurs, real entrepreneurs, knowledgeable entrepreneurs. Ya, saya selalu beritahu kepada students, saya tidak ada masalah dengan students yang menjual hanya di gerai-gerai. Bagi saya it's okay, no problem. Cumanya di mana dokumentasinya? Ya, you must know your documents, di mana invoice-nya, apa itu delivery order, apa itu sales order. So they must know all the documentations. So in other words, they must be knowledgeable entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs atau usahawan atau peniaga-peniaga yang knowledgeable. Okay? Any questions lagi before I go to the next slide?
No, Prof. Please continue.
Let's continue. Okay. Saya risau. Okay, after stage 1, dia dah belajar selok-belok bekerja di dalam sebuah entiti, ya, entiti perniagaan. Now it's time that they graduate and move on to the next stage and start their own companies. Okay, now this is where students would learn to incorporate their own companies and start running their own businesses. Okay, now sebab tu saya akan bercakap tentang central office atau back office, ya, sekejap lagi. Because untuk buat semua ini, untuk dia belajar macam mana nak mendaftar syarikat, sebab di Malaysia dan di Indonesia saya rasa they differ on how to register as companies, right? Business companies. They start initiating, because here in Malaysia we do a private limited company. We train students to incorporate private limited companies. I don't know what you say. How do you do it in Indonesia? Can anyone help me?
What sense, Prof? What
Sebab
word?
kalau di Malaysia is a sendirian berhad, private limited. Kalau di Indonesianya?
Can
So
you
is it
repeat?
here? So is it here to start like a private enterprise?
So it's easier in Indonesia. I think.
Easier in
Yeah.
Indonesia.
Yeah, but in Malaysia it's quite it's not difficult, but it's quite, what do you call, cumbersome, yeah, because there are a lot of things that we need to do, all the forms and everything, you know. So this is where we teach our we assist our students on how to do things. So they also need to prepare a budget for the company. They need to have a projected income. They need to have the cash flow statement, everything. They have to register with the bank. In Malaysia, we have them, they would need to register with the Employees Provident Fund. I don't know whether we have that in Indonesia, but we have that in Malaysia. You know, all the relevant authorities. Okay, this is where the central office or the back office comes in, with a system where the students, when they want to start up the company, they have to get connected to these entities and ask questions and the whatnots. Okay. Okay. Now, this is where trainees are allowed to experience the business entity from 2 different angles. The stage 1, they are employees, just employees doing their job. At stage 2, now they learn how to incorporate companies and do their own businesses. Okay, so there are 2 parts. There are always 2 parts to it. Okay. Now, the duration of the program can always be modified to your needs. The platform is very flexible. Okay, it's very flexible. Any form of business, for as long as there are processes and procedures, then it can be done. Inshallah. Okay, so within that practice enterprise, you can run both the stage 1, which is the business operations, or I always say it as the business processes. They learn the business processes, and it is at the first phase or at the first stage that we assist students in acknowledging best practices in business. For example, where gaji atau wages is concerned, upah is concerned, siapa yang membayar upah sebenarnya? Is it the accounts department? Anyone, please?
Consumer.
Pardon?
Consumer.
Now, the consumer, they buy. They are the ones paying for our gaji, right?
Yeah.
Our upah, correct. Now, but then again, in the company, we have the different departments, right? Which department would pay the wages of the employees? Anyone?
Finance department.
Finance?
Yeah.
Now, my next question is, isn't our upah atau gaji atau wages supposed to be private and confidential? Right.
Yeah, right. Yes,
So
right.
kalau finance yang bayar gaji kita, okay, dia kata Sri Ratna Triyasari gajinya 8,000. Novinya dapat 9,000. Nurulnya dapat 7,000. Jadi orang finance semua tahu. So is it private and confidential?
No. No.
Siapa yang akan pegang the private and confidential part kalau dalam sebuah syarikat? It is
Human
always
resource maybe.
exactly. So it's a human resource yang akan kira gaji kita, wages kita, upah kita, and dia hanya arah kepada finance. Okay, for this month, this is the amount that you have to pay. Gaji is, we say, 500,000 for all the staff. Because orang finance, orang accounts, dia tak tahu siapa dapat berapa. Okay, yang tahu hanya orang daripada HR. But they keep all the private and confidential things of staff. That is what we call best practices. Okay, now untuk keluarkan bayaran syarikat, not any Tom, Dick or Harry in the company can just sign a check and give out, right? So this is where you kena ada payment requisition. Has anyone of you heard about payment requisition? Kebenaran untuk membayar. So siapa yang akan membenarkan kita buat bayaran dalam sebuah company?
Owner.
Anyone?
Finance.
Yeah, it's either the CFO
And the owner.
or
The owner.
the CEO or the owner. Okay, so these are the things. Yeah, we students will learn all these things. No, I mean, you can tell them about this in a classroom or in a lecture, but can they really see it? Do they really feel it? They don't. Inside the practice enterprise, they will feel because they experience it. They are doing it rather than just listening to things.
Boleh webinar ya orang luar, Cuk.
Siapakah itu, saya tidak paham. Yes, anything, any question? Any question, please? Tak ada? Tak ada soalan?
All participant, for your information, the discussion can be delivered in Indonesian or English, even in Malaysian. So don't worry, if you ask in Indonesian, Prof. Razak also know. That's right, Prof.
Okay, okay. No, what I am trying to say here is, if there are any questions, please stop me and ask, because I don't want to move on without you understanding things, because then you start asking among yourselves and you will not get any answer.
Okay.
Okay, so please ask. Okay, can I move on?
Yes. Please continue.
Now this is an overview of what can be done. I don't know whether you can read, it's a bit small. Boleh baca? Nampak this slide?
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, you see stage 1, business operations. What we can do. Tadi siapa yang bertanya how to prepare practices in entrepreneurship as well as how to implement business practice. Kalau kita tengok di business operations side, stage 1, yeah, we have the business plan. It is pre-planned. The business plan is already there. So students just come in and get engaged with the business plan. the budget, organization chart, the operations, as well as business policies. Everything dah ready. Students hanya datang, masuk, bekerja. Itu stage 1. At stage 2, apa yang dia belajar di stage 1 akan diguna pakai di stage 2. Ya, dia kena buat business plan sendiri, dia kena buat budget sendiri, dia kena ada organization chart sendiri. So this is what they learn, they just copy. Okay? They are the CEOs, they are the CFOs of the PE. In fact, they do everything for the PE. And this is where they gain more exposure. Now, selepas stage 2, then we can go to the real thing. Students boleh start their own companies. At UCB, beginning this year, students yang involved dalam practice enterprise, students yang involved dalam business di UCB, mesti ada pendaftaran syarikat sendiri before they go out. Before they graduate, they must have a company. That's our plan for now. Okay? Questions? Saya risau, saya need questions. Because I don't know whether I'm going in the right direction or not. Any questions, anyone?
Sepertinya belum ada pertanyaan, Prof.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to the next slide. Like I've said just now, students who goes through and meet the minimum requirement will be awarded with CJL, certificates of competency. Okay, saying that they are competent at what level. Okay, and since the pedagogy is basically content delivery based, so it can emulate or simulate any content that you want. It silhouettes the real world practices, and as such, it accelerates students' entrepreneurial skills. It helps to accelerate students' entrepreneurial skills. Now, and also give access to international network. If you are registered with the network, if UTM is registered to the network like what UCB is. Okay, of course, there is a commitment fee of around 1,500 ringgit a year to be a member. Okay, so that you gain access to all 44 countries of the world. Like what we do, like what we have right now. Okay? Any questions? I keep asking for questions. I love questions. No questions?
I think there's a question from Dr. Mardia from chat, Prof. The challenge of assisting surgeon in running a business at Bestari University. Tantangan, ya, tantangan.
The challenges?
Ya, challenges of assisting, tantangan yang saat ini ada di Bestari University, Prof.
In actual fact, Bestari is actually moving very fast towards having all students go through the entrepreneurial training scheme, whereby we have, I will go to the challenges in a while, yeah. We have collaborated with the Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation to train our students in digital entrepreneur. So everything is going digital now, using social media especially. to do businesses. Yeah. Now, the challenges that we face here is one, as we go towards digital entrepreneurs, it's about having the right applications for the students. That is one. And number two, in actual fact, we don't have that much challenges here because everyone wants to be an entrepreneur because it's difficult to get jobs. Now, the challenge is in getting jobs now rather than, teaching students to be entrepreneurs. One more challenge that I would see is that since we are all going digital, so internet connection, that is one. I don't know whether we have that problem at UTM. Do we? Can anyone help me? Yeah.
Same problem, Prof.
Maybe worse here. Maybe worse here. The
I don't
internet
know,
connection is so
but-
bad.
Here.
So bad also. So now we spread from another building in order to listen you clearly.
Oh, I see. Okay, so we've got to get that right because in a practice enterprise environment, good connectivity is very essential.
Yeah.
Yeah, good connectivity is very essential. So your internet connection must be strong. Because everything is web-based, is application-based, yeah, without good connectivity, then it's difficult. It is. You will find that as a big challenge. Okay, I think it happens everywhere, all around the world, even in so-called developed countries. To get connectivities at times is difficult. Okay. All right. Any other questions before I move on?
Mrs. Mardia Hayati, there any feedback from the answer from Prof. Razak?
Which one? Which question?
So write it on chat.
She
Oh,
wrote it
yeah.
on the chat.
Okay, the challenge of assisting students in running a business at Bestari University. Now, the challenge of assisting students, I don't see that much challenge here because students wanting to run a business at the university is given all the chance. In fact, we allow them to do businesses at or in the campus for free. They don't have to pay anything to the university to run a business in the university. So we are really, really assisting them. Yeah. What we want them to do is to keep things clean. That's all. If they sell food stuff, it must be clean. And it must be pre-cooked at their premises. Okay. Any other questions? This is from Mardia Haryati. And any more questions? I think there's only one, right?
Only one question.
Only one
So you
question.
can continue first.
Yeah. I'm worried that I missed out on questions. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, I would like to show you some samples of documentations that we use. Now, here we use a web-based application known as the Simplified Business System. It's an accounting system, but we don't call it accounts because some people, they only want to do businesses. They don't want to do accounts, right? Because they say, I don't know anything about accounts, but the SBS, the Simplified Business System, assist us in doing not only business, but also in coming out with accounting documents. Okay. We move on and see here. For example, this is what we call, this is the main page. You have icon activity perniagaan. What do you want to do? Apakah yang Anda hendak lakukan hari ini? You click on one. For example, you click on one and it comes out like this. Belian dan bayaran. Saya nak membuat belian dan nak buat bayaran. So you click. It's very simple. You don't have to learn debit, credit or anything. But it will be able to produce a complete accounting report at the end of the day. Okay? Belian dan bayaran, pesanan pembelian, PO. Contoh pesanan pembelian. I'm just showing examples, yeah, of documents that you can get out from this system. A very simple system. You terima invoice dari pembekal, you terima pesanan belian, you receive a purchase order. You key in everything inside here, then you start sending out things with the DO. Delivery order. This one is from Malaysia. We have the GST last time, so it's a full tax invoice. Expenses, under expenses, you have bills received. Some of the documents that I'm just showing you, yeah. Now, the next slide shows you about the central office, something that you need to have, because it is here. The central office acts to the trainees' needs in their areas of business activities. I've said earlier, for example, you need a bank, right? So the central office or the back office acts as a bank. The back office also acts as a post office or as courier companies. They also act as the registrar of companies. They act as the Inland Revenue Board. They act also as buyers and suppliers of the last resort to other practice enterprises if no one wants to buy anything from you. For example, I have a company A. I want to sell something and no other practice enterprise wants to buy from me. So the central office will create a few companies and buy the things. This is how the central office helps or assists the PEs in getting sales. Okay. Now, I know sometimes it's a bit difficult for you to visualize what I have been saying unless you go through the training. Then you will experience and know what it is all about. Okay, that is why I always say to experience, or rather experience is the best teacher in this world. It's always about experience. Okay, question please. Sorry, I always do this. Any questions? I know some of you are lost. I know. Some of you might not even be able to connect the head to the tail. That is why I need questions so that I know that I am on the right track. No questions?
Still not yet, Prof.
Now I am worried because if there are no questions, I'm worried because there are only two things.
Oh, there's question from Mrs. Amanatu Surya on the chat. It's about experience. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Prof, it's about experience. Or
right?
How about fresh graduate?
How about fresh graduate? It's the same. Once you go through this process, you would get that experience. We've done it with, in fact, we have done the training for 16-year-old students in schools who have no prior experience in business, no prior experience, no prior knowledge in business, and yet they were able to go through the same thing and come out with flying colors. Okay, So when you ask about fresh graduate, of course, you have to go through this process in order to gain experience. That is why we call this as a simulator, where students experience the business process as well as business decisions. Okay? They go through the business process so that they know the best practices when they do businesses. So this is a training where students would come in and learn the finer points of business, even if they have not had any prior experience in business before. We've done that with, I don't know, I've done training for more than 1,000 students. Either they are fresh graduates or experienced, they are the same. To cite an example, yeah, I was doing a training of trainers for lecturers of a certain university in Malaysia. This one person has a PhD in business. The first day he came into the, yes, it means he has a lot of experience. Okay, he has been lecturing for more than 20 years, business. He has been lecturing subjects in businesses for more than 20 years. And yet when he comes into the practice enterprise, and when I showed him a purchase order, and I told him, please give this to the right department, he could not do so. So there's no difference between a fresh graduate or an experienced lecturer when it comes to the doing of the real thing. In theory, yes, he's good. But when it comes to the real thing, the nitty-gritty of doing it, he could not even pass the purchase order to the correct department. Now, I would like to pose the same question here. You are in a company, you are in a business company, you receive a purchase order. Where should the purchase order be? Which department? Anyone? Anyone would like to try?
Marketing, maybe?
Now,
No.
Purchasing.
Administration.
we
Purchasing.
are all experienced lecturers,
Department.
right? You see, if I were to receive a purchase order, now I would have a look at it first. Now, is it a purchase order from our company, or is it a purchase order from our client? See, there are two things, right? In a business entity, even your own company needs to purchase things, right? Betul tak? Kita juga perlu ada stok, so kita perlu purchase things, correct?
Yes.
Now, our clients pun nak purchase things, correct? So kalau kita ada purchase order di hadapan kita, what we should do is look at the purchase order first. Purchase order ini untuk company kita nak membeli barang, atau purchase order itu datang daripada klien. Kalau untuk kita membeli barang, so it should go to the purchase department. Correct? Tetapi sekiranya ia datang daripada klien, it should go to two departments. Satu, to the sales department. Dua, to the accounts and finance department. Sebab, this is where policies come in. Orang nak membeli barang dengan kita. Apa polisi kita? Adakah kita buat COD? Adakah dia kena membayar deposit dulu? Atau dia kena pay in total dulu baru kita hantar barang? You see, these are all policies. students would learn all these things as they go along. Again, I would like to go back to the question of how to implement business practice, right? There was this question just now. This is how we do it. Okay? So now, katalah polisinya kata you kena bayar at least 50%. Was that the question just now?
No, Prof.
No, okay, okay. So kalau kita kata 50%, so kita kena keluar a pro forma invoice. Has anyone heard about pro forma invoice? Any one of us? Pro forma invoice? Siapa tahu pro forma invoice? Kita tahu invoice. What about a pro forma invoice?
Faktur.
Invoice before
The consumer hold the product.
Yeah, so we send out a pro forma invoice for them to pay the deposit first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. See, you are good. So you can join the practice enterprise and be
I
the
think all
trainer.
lecturer must have the real experience before we teach our students.
So that would be very good. Yeah, that experience would help, right? Okay, so that is how we do things. So we assist students, we coach students into making decisions, into making into going into the best practices for businesses. Because if you don't go into best practices, then there will always be room for people to make mistakes, for people to, well, I don't like to use the word swindle, but yeah, swindle the company. You see, like what's happening is very rampant now. I don't like to talk about all those things. So let's stick here, okay? So any questions now before I go and show you what a best pack, how best pack looks like? Any questions? Okay. So this is how Bestari Practice Enterprise looks like. A very simple layout. Can you see the TV there? The screen?
Yes.
Why do we need the screen? Now, this is where we create scenarios. For example, when I did one training, one of the companies was selling, if you know, they were selling this krepek pisang.
Keripik pisang.
Yeah, krepek pisang. And they have a lot of orders from Germany. I didn't know that the Germans like krepek pisang. But they were ordering a lot. And so I created a scenario whereby the supplier of raw pisang, in Indonesia, we call that pisang also, right?
Yes.
Okay. So raw pisang, and I created a scenario where the plantation in Johor was burnt down. In Johor and Sarawak was burnt. They had a big fire and everything was off. And they had a big order coming in. So what would they do if this happens? Anyone? Any ideas? So how do they get their supplies? So
Maybe they have to look for another production of the banana.
Okay. So where did they look out for? We set up a few companies from the Philippines, and they started contacting the Filipinos in inverted commas, yeah. It's the central office that's playing the role. So they contacted their counterparts in Philippines and ordered raw bananas from the Philippines. But then again, what about pricing?
It must be costly.
Exactly. So it's costly.
Costly.
However, they still ordered for a very simple reason. They need to fulfill the demand of their buyer, correct? Because they don't want to lose their client. Was that a good decision? My question to all of you. Is that a good decision? Anyone?
For short term, maybe it's good decision, but in long term, I think not.
Okay, I agree with you. For the short term, they have to fulfill the demand because they don't want to lose their client, right? But then again, in the long run, of course, they would search for suppliers who are nearer to them, so that they can get cheaper things. Now, if you are in a classroom, can you show them that?
No.
You can show, but they can't experience it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the experience that helps them mature faster. It helps them to make decisions, better decisions, take risks, rather than just say, okay, sorry, we cannot supply because no one can supply us with raw materials, but they are doing other things now. So they are really using their brains. They are really thinking of retaining their sales. Well, they do not lose, but they do not profit too. They are selling at cost because they have pre-orders coming in, right? So these are the things that we can do. We can emulate in a practice enterprise concept, but not if it is in just a normal classroom or a normal lecture. Like what I've said earlier, if you want students to understand, if you want students to be able to really do things, you have to prime your lessons. Always remember the prime principle. Okay, let's move on again. This is again our, now.
Sorry, sir. We have
yes.
case. Yeah, in this case, suppose the student, they have some case that they have problem about the initial supplier. So they have to what we call,
Engage
they
a
have
new
to
supplier.
contact from the Filipino in the Philippines as the new supplier. It means the curriculum or the program should be simulate this situation. So some student can contact the Filipino and then to initiate the new, what we call, new business process, something like that.
Okay, now, if you heard me earlier, I say we have the central office, right?
Yeah.
Now, the central office can always play the role.
Yeah.
If we do not have any counterparts in the places that we want to be.
Okay.
Okay, I've said the central office will play the role of the buyer and seller of last resort.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, does that explain it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now, any other questions concerning the supplier thing just now? No more?
No more. I think it's enough.
Okay, okay, all right. Now, this is not okay. Now we at Bestari has gone a step further in using English as our main language for the practice enterprise, because it helps students to improve on their English. And just to show you a bit, this is the English milestone that we have been able to assist our students with. Okay, they are able to write memos, they know how to write emails, formal emails, yeah, not just emails, not just WhatsApp contents, you know, it's real official emails. Okay, letters, meeting minutes, they speak better. Of course, when you have to contact international students, yeah, when you speak to people from England, from Germany, of course, it also raises students' confidence. And it also teaches them, it also helps them to enhance their listening skills. For example, a person from France would not speak perfect English. They would have the French accent there. Kan? So bila dia ada the French accent, so they must listen carefully in order to understand. I have an instance where, while I was doing a training with students from University Utara Malaysia, if you have heard of UUM in Kedah. So while I was doing the training, we received a phone call from France. Now, my student was worried that he would not be able to converse with the other party. However, after going through that conversation, he turns back to me and say, well, I speak better English than him. So you see, it raises his confidence. So it's important that students be allowed to speak, or rather to get connected to other parts of the world as and when necessary to them. Okay? Now, as I have said earlier, before I go further, as I have said in my earlier slides, yeah, we can emulate any form of business. For example, yours is more on agro business, right? Correct?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So you can emulate any form of business, because the business process would still be the same. Whether you sell handphones or you sell agricultural products, the process, the documentation would still be the same. Only the product is different, right? So, for example, here at University College Bestari, we have our own products. We have stingless bee honey, meloponini, and then we do have students produce soap, students produce chocolates, we have roti canai, we have keropok lekor, we have curry puff, we have our tourism product. We have a lot. We have a number of products that we do sell. And right now we are into producing the latest one, yeah? We are just setting up what, yeah? We are setting up a place to produce oh my gosh, how can I forget that word? Melaleuca kaju peti essential oil, minyak kayu putih. So the university is producing it soon. Within the next 6 months, we will be producing our own minyak kayu putih, minyak pati kayu putih. So we are very much into business, and we are also we will be selling, we will be producing mushrooms. It's the students. I mean, when we say we, it's about the students doing it. We are setting up the mushroom house, and students will be taking charge of the mushrooms. We have our, we rear goats to be sold for their mutton. You know, we are doing a lot of produce. We plant papayas, we plant bananas, we plant sugarcane. So we have a lot of agricultural products too. Okay, so I think UCB and UTM, not much difference between us. We are very much into agriculture. Okay, so let's see what we have achieved so far, yeah, at University College Bestari. These are some of the achievements that University College Bestari has done. Even at the first European International Trade Fair and the 8th Global Fair. These are some of our students when we went for the competition. Participating universities in Malaysia. You would know, I guess, USM, University Science Malaysia, University Utara Malaysia, we have University Malaysia Kelantan, you have UNIMAT, you have a lot, okay? And then this is the milestone that we do during competitions. In fact, we can hold a competition at UTM if you want to. Practice enterprise competition, where students compete against each other. We can come up with all the milestones that, excuse me, that they need to do. When we were in Korea, and this was when we were in Austria, in Dornbirn, Austria, where, you know, our students got third and fourth place. International collaboration with the Prince of Songkla University. It's about the PE, about the practice enterprise. We had our research together on business simulation and teamwork. Well, this is not important to me. It's just some publicity stunt. Some of the things that we are doing up until now with foreign universities. In fact, I've just received an email from South Korea again, wanting to collaborate with us. I think it would be good if we can do this with UTM and some of the online competition. That's it. So, question and answer session. I need a lot of questions. Please ask questions.
Okay, Prof. Right now for all participants, now is discussion session, right?
Yes.
So as information for all participants, the discussion can be delivered in Indonesian, English, or even Malaysian, like especially to students who are present here. Ask the question. Please raise your hand, introduce yourself, and ask the question, please. Hello.
Excuse me, Miss Nana, maybe can I give my question first before our students?
Sure.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Prof. Razak, after hearing what you shared, so much dream in my head, but I know in UTM, we have so much, we have no center of, what you say, to give a real experience to our students. we just send them to some of factory for we call it internship program. But in 1 month now, sometimes we send our student for 3 months in them. But in that range, our student can't get all of experience because some like finance or maybe HR, they're private, secret like that. So only some of experience. It's so much different with your university because you can control it. So all of factory, all of department, we can put them all in all sector like that. So it's become a big challenge for us. That's why maybe our students almost they have become a job seeker more than job creator like that. Then and second, how to in our limitation, how to make our curriculum maybe better than now. Prof.
Okay.
Prof. Razak.
Okay. No. I think you have a good curriculum. Yeah. I think the curriculum. This is not about the curriculum, but rather about us giving the students the opportunity to experience things. That's the main thing. So I would be very happy if UTM can collaborate with UCB, and I am willing to be at UTM to assist UTM, especially the Faculty of Agrobusiness, to start up a practice enterprise. We can start up a practice enterprise if you have computers or you have a computer lab. We can modify that to be a practice enterprise. And then I know you would have people who are good in IT. You have your IT department, right? They can always assist in setting up of all these things, the things that we need. But having said that, I will not be of much help if we are doing things, you know, through Zoom. You see, it has to be a face-to-face thing, right? So I honestly, I am willing to be there for as long as I am needed to be there to assist in setting up. I can always come with a team of say 2 or 3 people to assist UTM to set up. We can set up one first at your faculty and then help you run it first. We can do it. I know UTM can do it. Having people like all of you, I mean, yes. And I am also willing to assist in the training of the lecturers in how to train the students.
Yeah.
We must do a training for the lecturers first.
Yeah.
And these trainers, the most important thing is you must be very creative because you must know what you want. And you can always tailor your training towards what you want, your outcome. For example, I always do this when I do my training. The first week, we normally do a 2 weeks training session. The first week in the mother PE, coming in as workers, yeah, I would make the company fail. They will be trading at a loss. So you can see how the students' faces look like. And then the next phase, you pull them back up and you see how elated they are, how happy they are. You know, as if they have received real money. When in actual fact, it's just well, I can say that it's just a game. But the experience that they go through, you can see the expressions of their faces. Okay.
Thank you
Does
so
that
much.
answer you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I see there are two questions here. Bagaimana cara menentukan usaha apa yang cocok untuk kita sebagai mahasiswa? No one can determine it. Only you yourself can determine what you want to do, what you like to do, what are the products that you want to sell. Now, having said that, you jangan jual produk atau you jangan buat bisnes yang shock sendiri. Sorry for using that word, ya. Shock sendiri. I don't know whether you understand that or not. Dia rasa dia suka, so dia buat benda tu. It doesn't mean that you will have clients. Okay. Apa yang kita nak jual mestilah sesuatu yang dapat membantu klien. I always believe in apa you saya selalu buat dulu? Training. The entrepreneurship training yang I buat, that acronym I have forgotten again. It's not prime. You must always do an analysis of things. What do your clients need? Number one, is there a need for it? And ABC. Is there a need for it? Right? Have you all heard of NABC? Anyone here?
Pardon me?
Has anyone heard of the NABC approach?
No, I think no.
NABC. Before you do your business, you use this approach. One, always look for what people need.
Okay.
Number two is the approach. How are you going to meet the people's need? Number three, what would it benefit your clients? How would it benefit the people? Benefit here would always mean resolving problems, right? It's always about resolving problems. And last but not least is, of course, the competitor. Is there any competition if you want to do that? That's the approach that I would always take. Please look further about NABC. You can just Google it, it's there. Okay, that's the approach that I always use with my students. I don't know, people use business canvas and the whatnots. I use a very simplistic form of NABC. Needs, approach, benefit, competition. 4. Okay. Bagaimana tips untuk para mahasiswa agar berani terjun dalam dunia entrepreneur dan berani menjalankan suatu usaha? Well, it depends on you. Sebab tu saya kata kalau kita buat the practice enterprise methodology, it would help enhance students' confidence. And it would also help them decide whether they are apt for business or not. Because bukan semua students boleh buat business, bukan semua orang boleh buat business. Okay, there are only a certain kind of people yang boleh buat business. No one can determine. Okay, you boleh buat business, you tak boleh buat business. No, no one can determine that. Okay, even the best of people sometimes tak boleh buat business. Tapi kalau dia nasihat orang, yes, they are good at it. But when they themselves do, semua hancur. Pun ada. Okay? Alright. Bila kan macam soalan yang pertama, bagaimana upaya untuk meningkat minat para mahasiswa agar terjun dalam dunia entrepreneur? Well, come to the practice enterprise and see first. I would always say that. So saya amat berharap yang UTM akan membina practice enterprise, would set up practice enterprises so that students akan ada better chance. Sebenarnya practice enterprise juga boleh act as finishing school. Now, macam tadi ya, hantar internship. Now, kita tengok students yang buat accounting. Do you think they will be allowed to do the accounts of the company? Kalau kita ada company, seorang intern masuk, rasa kita bagi ke dia buat accounts kita? Kita tak bagi kan? I don't trust. So the best way is still the practice enterprise, where they come in and learn what they can practice, what they have learned inside the practice enterprise. That is why the practice enterprise is a very essential place for universities, for students especially, to practice what they have learned. Because when you go for internship, you will never get to really learn or do what you have learned at university. It's a sad case because it's happening everywhere. Students going in for internship having to do photocopying, you become like a tea lady, making tea for them, for the bosses and the whatnots. You don't really do the real thing. So it's a very sad thing. Okay? All right, did I answer you? Any questions? More questions, please. It's still early. I have a lot of time. Don't worry.
Me again first. Me again, sir.
So just out of curiosity, so what's our next move? What's your next move then? After having been with me for more than an hour, so do you plan to set up a practice enterprise at your faculty? It doesn't cost much.
Teksturnya seperti rasa.
Me,
Mr.
my
Andre,
question, sir.
please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Prof. Razak.
Yeah.
Sorry, me again.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, may I explain briefly about this program?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we have institutional competition award from the Ministry of Education. And then one of the goal is we try to develop the Center of Excellence in Entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
This activity is the first activity, and we have some, I think, what we call we try to have some next activity to make the Center of Excellence is happen. So I note your notice earlier that we have to keep maintain our collaboration. So maybe after that we can keep communication to assist us what is the first step to develop the Center of Entrepreneurship. Because if I see from your explanation, the PA is very, very interesting for us, but for me, it is still what we call, it is still abstract. So I don't understand exactly about your concept. Maybe we will ask Bu Novi to go to your university with us, all of us, yeah, and then we can learn directly from your university, so your concept will be more clearly for us. So
Yeah.
my notice is maybe it is the first step for our collaboration, and then maybe Bu Novi will tell later about what we will do after this activity. So I really want the Center of Excellence in Entrepreneur will be happen in our university. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, having heard what you have said, in actual fact, saya rasa saya juga ada memberitahu tadi, yang I am willing to come over to to UTM with my team, and I think if I go over there and assist you, we can do the training. In fact, we can do the training there. Then it would be much cheaper rather than all of you coming over to. But I don't mind if you all want to come here. It's, you know, I don't mind at all. Good. But again, we have to think about costs, right?
Yeah.
It's at this moment in time, I guess it's all about costs. So I've said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, I am willing to come over and assist with let's have a discussion on the concept of what you really need to have over there, because when we do it online, you know, sometimes message does not get across because you know, the body language, you cannot see the body language, you cannot see, you know, all the signs and everything. Being together, a face-to-face would eliminate all these things, correct? And in the end would help both parties understand the needs of each other. Now, because I see that you want to be a center of excellence for entrepreneurs, right? You would like to create a pool of entrepreneurs as they graduate from UTM. Now, I suggest that you have the practice enterprise as part of your center of excellence, because it would be able to not only help students from your faculty, but it would be able to help students from other faculties too, okay, to come in and join and go through the same experience. Because that is what we do here. What we do at UCB is students from all faculties come in and do the same training. And of course, to take overseas, we have to select a few only, the best, right? And being able to take students out of Malaysia is actually a big help to them. It gives them a new sense of reality, even to the lecturers, even to us, even to me, you know, to see new places. Okay. So I am always ready. I am always willing to assist. So you can always write in if you would like me to be there, or all of you would like to come over here. You are always welcome. No problems at all. Okay. We can accommodate you, inshallah. We have enough guest houses, I guess, for you all to stay. And please, 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 I will accept all of you with open arms, if ever you want to come here. And I hope it's the same if I ever go to Trunojoyo again. Okay, now I have a question here. Langkah apa yang harus dilakukan bermula untuk melalui bisnesnya? Well, you must have interest. That's the first thing. You must have interest in wanting to do a business now. However, we must always be reminded. I always like to remind the students and myself that when you do a business, it's always for a bigger purpose. When I say for a bigger purpose, you do business, you berniaga, you menjadi seorang usahawan, bukan untuk diri you seorang. Bila you menjadi seorang usahawan, ianya seharusnya untuk community. To provide for the community, not for yourself alone. Then you boleh berjaya, insyaAllah. Because kalau you kata hanya untuk diri you, you will not go far. Okay? Bagaimana kita bisa meyakinkan diri untuk memulai usaha dengan modal yang hanya bisa dibilang cukup untuk satu kali produk? Okay. Well, you must know your product first. Satu, you must know your client. You must know siapa target market you. Okay? And you must always sell cash. Jangan bagi berhutang. Kalau dari mula you benarkan klien berhutang, then you'll have problems coming up with the second cycle of product. Sebab you kata tadi modal you hanya untuk satu cycle, right? So once you buat, sell cash. Tapi you nak order tu, make sure you bincang you boleh hutang dengan your supplier. Itu kalau you nak jadi trader lah. Kalau you nak real entrepreneur, you produce your own things, then of course, again, produce only when there is order. Then you must know about your lead time. How long do you need to produce? Okay? So I hope I have answered the number 2 question here. Bagaimana kita bisa meyakinkan diri untuk memulai usaha? Okay? Jika seorang entrepreneur mengalami kegagalan dalam usahanya, bagaimana strategi dalam membangun kembali usahanya? Don't repeat your same mistake. Correct? You must analyze di mana mistake kita tadi yang membuatkan kita gagal. So you improve on that. Sebab tu kalau you masuk dalam I always go back dalam practice enterprise, kita create scenarios, dia mesti tahu kalau dia gagal, kenapa dia gagal. And come up with suggestions with new plans to overcome problem tadi. So that is why the practice enterprise bagi saya is very essential untuk would-be entrepreneurs. It's very, very essential. Bagaimana pandangan ke depannya jika para pegawai memiliki jiwa entrepreneur? Now, sebab tu saya kata tadi, kalau universitas kita boleh produce entrepreneurial graduates. Dia mungkin seorang pekerja, dia mungkin staff, tetapi cara pemikirannya adalah seorang entrepreneur. Ya, dia tidak menunggu, tetapi dia bisa bertindak demi keuntungan tempat yang dia bekerja. Contoh ya, saya bekerja dengan University College Bestari. Kalau I have an entrepreneur mindset, I would always start thinking of how do I bring income to UCB? Correct? Or how do I assist UCB untuk dapat extra income? Contoh, I'll do marketing, bring in more students. Because we are a private entity. So we need students. Kalau tak ada students, macam mana nak bayar gaji? Right. Kalau kita universiti awam di Malaysia, dia dapat funding from the government. Saya rasa sama macam di Indonesia kan? UTM mendapat grants from the government untuk menjalankan aktiviti di kampus. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. But kita di UCB, kita diconsider sebagai a private entity. So kita kena cari wang sendiri. So in order to get more money, you need to have more students because they pay more fees. Correct? And we also must find other things. For example, sebab tu kita tanam papaya, kita tanam pisang, kita tanam tebu. Why? We want to get more income. We have to do businesses. Okay? So sama juga di sini. Ya, kalau you ada an entrepreneurial mindset, then it would assist your companies. Okay? Bagaimana pandangan ke depannya kepada pegawai negeri? Ya, I think I have answered that. In the end, dia akan jadi seorang entrepreneur juga, insyaAllah. Okay, you start practicing the entrepreneurial punya mindset in order to be an entrepreneur. You must start doing that daripada awal. Okay? Any more questions? Saya okey, saya boleh sampai pukul jam 1 pun, jam 12 di Madura pun saya okey, no problem. Sekarang baru jam 11 kan di Madura. Betul ya?
Yes, right, Prof. Maybe the last question from student Ratna. Maybe you can directly say the question to Prof. Razak. Ratna Wulandari.
Jelaskan mengapa dalam pengembangan diri kita harus mempunyai konsep diri yang jelas dan upaya. Upaya apa saja yang harus dilakukan dalam pengembangan konsep diri seorang wirausaha. Saya pun pening. Now, ini dah soalan lain pula ni. Apa risiko yang akan dihadapi seorang entrepreneur ketika menjalankan sebuah usaha? Oh, menanggung kerugian. That's the main risk. Ya. Apa saja komitmen? Ya Allah, lajunya soalan. Komitmen, you have to be very committed, tidak putus asa. Untuk menjadi seorang wirausaha, you tidak boleh berputus asa. You must keep rising up whenever you fall. Bagaimana cara menjadi peluang usaha di lingkungan sekitar, khususnya di Malaysia? You want to do business in Malaysia? Peluang is everywhere. For example, ya, ada orang bila dia nampak sesuatu, for example lah, dia nampak satu barang, dia nampak pen, just a pen, ya. Dia nampak a pen. Ada orang dia nampak pen ni as just a pen. Saya lah. Ada orang nampak ini sebagai pensel. Tetapi ada orang nampak ini sebagai barang dagangan. You see? Kalau you are an entrepreneur, if you are a real entrepreneur, setiap apa yang you nampak itu you would always think of, how do I make money out of this? Itu the starting point of an entrepreneur. Dia tengok aja, ini kalau I jual ni, I can make money. Itulah permulaan dia. That's the starting point, must always be that. Orang nampak pensel sebagai pensel, you nampak pensel sebagai barang dagangan. That's the starting point. Okay? Lepas tu baru you boleh kembangkan balik kepada benda-benda lain. Persaingan dengan kompetitor bisnes yang lebih besar jika bisnes yang kita tidak kunjung berkembang. Apakah benar langkah untuk menjadi kerjasama dengan pesaing? Well, kita kena ingat ya, bukan semua pesaing itu pesaing. We can always complement each other. Kita kena always act as complementers. Because there are always times when you would be down and others would complement you. Sebab soalan ini kata ya, kompetitor bisnes yang lebih besar. You tak boleh compete dengan kompetitor yang lebih besar. So what do? We complement them. For example, saya sebuah universitas yang kecil. Okay? A big university. Kalau saya anggap dia kompetitor, can I beat them? Saya tak boleh. So courses saya yang saya buat mungkin. Kalau dia buat sampai diploma, dia ada degree, PhD dan masters, mungkin saya hanya buat diploma. I send my students to them. Betul? So now kita dah compliment dia. So dia akan jaga kita tak? Dia kata okey lah, students yang datang kat universiti I kalau nak buat diploma, or semua datang ke universiti B. Then you come to us. So kita act as feeder pada dia orang. That can be one of the ways to do things. You complement rather than compete. Okay? Saya harap Gajayana 190321 apa ni, saya menjawab soalan ya. Milenial agar bisa menjadi entrepreneur yang sukses, jangan sombong. Millennials are very self-centered. Dia hanya fikir tentang diri dia. And bila dia nak buat bisnes pun, dia fikir apa yang dia suka. Which is very wrong. You must sell apa yang orang suka, bukan apa yang you suka. Kalau nak go into business, it's always about your client. Sebab tu saya kata, bila kita buat tentang NABC tadi ya, we always think about the needs. It's not my needs. Kalau I nak menjual, I must think of the needs of the people outside. Apa yang dia perlukan. Sama ada perkhidmatan ke, barangan ke, it doesn't matter, but it's what they need rather than what we need. Okay? Okay, to be a successful entrepreneur, saya kata tadi, is always being an entrepreneur for the bigger purpose. Di mana we are able to serve the community rather than diri kita seorang saja. Kalau kita hanya boleh serve diri kita sahaja, then you are not a successful entrepreneur. I always term successful entrepreneur bila kita boleh membuka ruang pekerjaan, boleh memberi pendapatan kepada at least masyarakat setempat ya, and to fulfill your obligations, especially kalau as Muslims, zakatnya, never ever forget about zakat. Now, dalam konsep practice enterprise yang kita jalankan di Bestari, in terms of zakat ya, zakat kita tidak letak at the bottom. Zakat is at the top. Zakat tu jadi macam expenses kita. So kita akan tetapkan dulu, pada tahun ini company saya akan membayar zakat sebanyak berapa. Then you work towards paying the zakat. Rather than kita kata saya untung, berapa untung, itulah zakat saya. So we change it around. We change it around. So zakat is very prominent. Okay? Saya dah jawab Ramadan. Yeah.
Sorry, because time is limit. My apologies, Prof. The discussion time.
No problem. No problem. I am always ready anytime.
Maybe it can be continued in another session.
Yes,
So
yes,
sorry,
yes.
Bu Nana,
Yes.
Prof. Razak, maybe one more time for me.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay.
Sure.
Last, yeah, not but least.
Maybe this is closing statement maybe. Prof. Razak, really, I hope so much we can meet you directly, so we can we can get your concept and we can introduce it in our curriculum like that. And the second one is our study program. We have a journal and we are now prepared for our international accreditation. Maybe Mr. Andre, would you like to explain? He told me that we need your help. Would you like to join with us as our reviewer maybe? Because we need it. Mr. Andre, where are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr. Andre, a handsome man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mr. Razak, I already checked in website. You already have what we call competency as a reviewer for us. So my journal is Agroeconomica. We prepare as a international journal. So if you don't mind, I really hope you will be able to one of the reviewer in our article journal.
Yeah, okay. I am willing to assist. No problem at all. Inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Maybe later I will contact you by email, yeah. Sir.
Yes, please.
Okay,
You have my email, right?
Yes, Arumi.
Okay, so it's not a problem. And please, at any time, if you need my assistance, just contact me. And
Okay.
if
Most welcome.
yeah, if you need me to be there at UTM, then I think you have to write in officially to the university so that I can take leave and be at UTM for as long as I am needed over there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much, Prof. Razak.
You are most
Bisma.
welcome. Thank you so much for listening to me. Okay, I hope I have been able to assist all of you in your journey towards having a center of excellence for entrepreneurs at UTM. Thank you so much again.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
with that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so
Okay, Prof.
much.
thank you so much to everyone. Yeah.
Yes,
Dilanggar
Prof.
Okay.
Prof.
Okay. Bye.
Prof,
Yeah.
sorry, before I close this event, maybe for all the participants can open the camera for documentation, a group photo session, please.
Okay.
For all, Bu Nurul siap? Hitung ya.
Please, yeah, I would like to have a copy of the photos.
Okay, Bu Nurul will share for you, Prof. Okay. For all student, teman-teman semuanya, mohon kesediaannya untuk membuka kamera. Baik, terima kasih. Akan kami hitung 1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi mungkin bebas, free, style.
Best pose.
1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Okay, finally we have arrived at the end of the event. I would like to thank Prof. Razak once again, who has taken the time and is pleased to provide the knowledge and experience to us. From the deepest of my heart, I do apologize for my mistake in presenting this event. Thank you very much for your kind attention for all participants. I will close this event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Once
Hope to see all of
again,
you
thank you so
soon.
much,
Thank you,
Prof.
Prof.
Okay,
Razak.
bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.